very good evening everyone, and I welcome you all to my channel Grammar Tales Learn English Grammar with Krish. So all this while we have been doing the verb, isn't it? We have been dealing with verbs. Today also we will be doing verbs. See, in our previous videos, if you check my playlists, you will see that we have done main verbs, different types of verbs, isn't it? Main verbs, auxiliary verbs, then stative verbs, action verbs, isn't it? Different types of verbs. So if you go through those playlists, you will find all of them in detail, and I hope you have gone through. Those who have not, you please go through those videos, and those who are new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe. Fine. So today we will be doing another type of verbs. These are what? These are finite and non-finite verbs. Fine. Alright, let's begin. So these are what? These are verbs also can be divided into what? Finite and non-finite verbs. Alright. Finite and non-finite. Now you must be thinking, what are finite and what are non-finite? So today we will be dealing with only finite verbs. Fine. So see, I will write some say 3 sentences, and then I will go on with the explanation. So today's topic is verbs finite. Alright, today we will do the finite verbs. Now see, I enjoy watching movies. So in this sentence, which is the verb? This is the main verb, isn't it? Enjoy. And this is also a verb. You can say this is the main verb, this is the auxiliary or the helping verb. Fine. So this is in the present tense, isn't it? So I enjoy watching movies. Now I'll write another sentence, same sentence, but you just keep a strict vigil on the board. I enjoyed watching movies. Watching movies. So see what I have written here. In the first sentence I wrote what? In the present tense, enjoy, isn't it? In the second sentence I have written I enjoyed. I added this ed. So it becomes in the past tense, right? Now I'll write one more sentence. I will enjoy watching I will enjoy watching movies. Now you see the difference. Fine. And then you will understand what are finite and what are non-finite. See, in the first sentence, the verb is in the present tense, isn't it? This is the main verb, and this is the auxiliary or the helping verb. Now see, in each sentence, the tense has changed. This is in the present tense, enjoy. In the second sentence, what I have written? I have added the ed, isn't it? So it goes into the past tense. I enjoyed watching movies. Third one is what? It is in the present, in the future tense. I will enjoy watching movies. So in these 3 sentences, you see what is happening? The form of the verb is changing, isn't it? The tense, present, past and future, isn't it? So the tense has changed. But you see, when I have written with all these sentences, this verb, watching, it has remained same. It hasn't changed, isn't it? It has remained watching, be it in the present tense, past tense or in the future tense. So this is the difference. The verb which changes its tense, isn't it? It is changing the form. Though these are what? These are finite verbs. These are finite. And where the verb is not changing form, it is the non-finite verbs. Non-finite. Fine. This is one very simple example. All in very simple words, if I say, verbs which change their form according to tense. See, according to tense. Enjoy, enjoyed, will enjoy. Isn't it? These are called what? These are called finite verbs. On the contrary, what we are saying, in each of these sentences, whether it is the past tense, present tense and the future tense, this form of the verb is not changing. It is watching, washing, washing, isn't it? This form of the verb, it is not changing. There is no change in tense. These are called what? These are called non-finite verbs. So this is a very, very simple distinction. It's very easy to understand. Fine. Also, there are some more conditions which will differentiate between finite and non-finite verbs. Now see, in case of finite verbs, when we talk about finite verbs, one, you have seen that there is one condition is what? There is a change in tense, isn't it? Past, present, future. There is a change in tense. This is the first condition. The second condition is what? A finite verb will also show agreement with the subject. Agreement with the subject. Remember, we have done this subject verb agreement with the subject. What does the subject verb agreement say? When the subject is singular, the verb will have an s with it. Singular subject, the verb will have an s, isn't it? So this is the subject verb agreement. Now see, I'll just give you an example of this subject verb agreement. See, in a sentence there will be both finite and non-finite. When I'm giving this example, you will understand. For example, the man runs to the store to get a gallon of milk. So what is the sentence that I've written? The man runs to the store to get a gallon of milk. So this, see, here the man is the subject. It is in the singular form. But the verb runs, it is in the, because it has an s here. This is the subject verb agreement, that if the subject is singular, the verb will have an s, isn't it? So the man runs to the store to get. Now this get is what? This is also a verb, but this is a non-finite verb. And this runs is the finite verb. It is in agreement with the subject. See, the second condition of the finite verb is what? Agreement with the subject. So this is the finite verb. On the contrary, for non-finite verbs, first what we learned, that it will not change its form, or there will be no change in tense. Second is that it will not have any agreement with the subject. See, here the subject is singular and with the verb we do not have an s. So there is no agreement with the subject. So this is the non-finite verb. Right? Understood, I hope. So it's very, very simple if you listen carefully, that is. Okay, now I will not make the video very long. So I just want you that remember some points. So I'm just marking with a star. See, in a sentence, if there is more than one verb, then the finite verb is usually the one closest to the subject. Okay, in a sentence, if there is one verb, in a sentence, if there is only one verb, it is the one, it is usually the one closest to the subject. It is usually the one closest to the subject. Fine. So you can identify that way also. It is closest to the subject if there is more than one verb. Generally there is, isn't it? There is a main verb and there is a helping verb. Also, finite verbs, remember, finite verbs can be action verbs. Finite verbs can be action verbs or helping verbs. That is, the finite verbs can also be the main verbs or the action verbs, and they can also be the auxiliary or the helping verbs. As long as what? As there is one condition, that as long as they have a subject, as long as they have a subject, there is agreement with the verb, they agree with the and they agree with that subject, and one more condition is that, and they are set in either present or past tense. Fine. So this is the condition. What is the first one? In a sentence, if there is only one verb, it is usually the one closest to the subject for a finite verb. Fine. And the second word is what? Finite verbs can be action verbs or helping verbs as long as they have a subject, agree with the subject, and are set in either present or past tense. So that will be all for today. Today we have finished with the finite verbs. In the next class we will be doing infinite verbs. I hope you have understood what I have explained about the finite verbs. Sorry. Please go through the video, and those who have not seen my previous videos relating to the main verbs, auxiliary verbs, stative verbs, please go through those videos. And please do not forget to like, share and comment, and those who are new to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.